I'm Matt Hunter here with the Boxing Voice, here in Errol Spence's gym in Dallas, Texas. First off, thank you, Errol, for inviting us for a second day. It really means a lot. And first off, how's training camp going? How's the weight cut? Getting all that weight off?
Training camp been going great. The weight cut's going good. We've been training for about 3-4 months now, so I'm in shape. Just now time to wait till May 27th.
And as we've been here watching you train, we've noticed that there's never heavy breathing. There's no breaks usually. Are you training year round for that, or is that only in camp? Are you that of a machine?
Oh, it's only in camp. You don't want to train year round like that and burn yourself out. So, it's only in camp where we don't really take any breaks, and I have controlled breathing. Just basically just train hard. That's just those are how we train. We don't go by the clock. So once you get in the ring, that minute break, it'll be way easier. You got a minute break now. It'll be easier in the fight.
Mm-hmm. Now, because of your strength and conditioning, do you have a strength and conditioning coach?
Nah, Derek's my strength and conditioning coach, and a guy named Blu-ray, named Trey. He's my upper body coach, but Derek, we work on lower body. I did strength conditioning earlier today.
So, do they control your diet and your nutrition as well?
Nah, I control my diet.
You control?
Yeah, I control my diet. So.
Is that a thing that you may have to worry about as you grow older and you fill out more? You are a big welterweight. There's rumors of that weight cut being a little bit difficult for you. Nutrition is a big part of weight cutting. Is that something, when you become a champion, earn some more money, are you going to start hiring these people to make you better? Floyd had a nutritionist. All these great guys have nutritionists. Is that something that you're thinking about?
Eventually, maybe eventually, but not right now. Basically eating healthy is, basically common sense thing. I just eat baked foods, grilled foods, eat my greens, and that's about it.
Cooking for yourself? Or?
Yeah, I cook for myself, Yeah, I cook for myself.
Now, we've noticed also that you've been training for the clinch a lot. When you're doing pad work and stuff like that. Is that because of Kell Brook and Sean Porter, that clinch work specifically?
It's not because of Sean Porter, but it is because, you never know what's going to happen. He might clinch me, he might not clinch me, but you want to be prepared for anything that he might be able to do. So, he's been known to clinch in the past, so it's something that we've been working on.
Something I seen you working on was Derek James was doing interactive pad work with you. How long have you guys been doing that? Because you don't see a lot of men, trainers kind of moving around and mimicking their opponent, or your opponent rather.
It's something that we've been working on for a while. I think, sometimes, he work on moving and me throwing the jab while he moving, it kind of mimic the fighters, and I think, you got some boxers do it, but you got some trainers who do it, but not all trainers that do it. But I think it helps me a lot, hand-eye coordination, feet coordination, moving, jabbing while he's moving. I think it's good because it mimics the fight situation.
Are you running for this camp?
Oh, definitely, yeah.
So when do you do road work?
Well, I do road work at night. Oh. Yeah, I run probably at 10 at night.
In the gym or actually in the street?
In the street.
Oh, wow. It's not cold?
I ain't worried about that, man. Once you start running, it's not cold anymore.
Now you mentioned mimics. Does Derek James watch tape of your opponents, and do you watch tape with him, or is just Derek James?
He watches tape. We watch tape. Basically separate. He watched tape, then I watch tape, and then basically, we in the gym and we may discuss certain things. He might do something, tell me what he does, and I might tell him something. So basically, we watch tape separate, and basically we come together and then mesh our ideas together. He tell me what he think the game plan might be.
So, in your opinion, what's Kell Brook's, his best punch, or what does he do best, in your opinion?
What Kell Brook does best is, he tries to maintain distance, and he has a good one too.
What does he do that's worse, in your opinion? What's the worst thing that he does? What's the thing that you think you can capitalize the most on when you watch Kell Brook?
I don't know, man.
No, that's May 28th.
27th, get it right.
No, 28th is when you can tell. Can't tell you yet.
Now, is this your first fight overseas? Have you ever fought in Mexico, Canada, or anything like that?
I fought in Canada before.
From Canada?
Nearly, right?
Yeah.
Is that some sort of concern for you? Are you calculating, coming out maybe 2 weeks before the fight, or calculating diet, bringing food over? Is the fact that this fight is overseas a part of your calculation in camp?
Nah. I mean, we're going there 2 weeks before the fight to get adjusted, get acclimated. You don't want to go in the week of the fight and have jet lag and stuff like that. So we have no concerns at all.
Are you guys doing 2-a-days already, or do you not do 2-a-days?
What you talking about?
Workouts.
Yeah, I mean, like today is a 2-a-day. I did strength conditioning, then I came here right after, came to the gym. Then I might do something later on.
Do you ever spar on the same days you run when you strength conditioning?
Oh yeah.
Oh, you do?
Yeah. Like I spar and then I run later on that night.
How often do you spar?
3 times a week.
3 times a week?
Yeah.
I heard.
Now, 3 days a week, or just 3 times a week?
I mean, 3 times a week.
Okay.
I seen a quote where Jamel Charlo said that no one works harder than you. You've also had the opportunity to work alongside Broner and Mayweather, who they say work hard.
Yeah.
Where do you fit in those
Hard work, dedication.
Yeah, hard work, dedication guys?
I think me and Floyd, neck and neck. Floyd has a crazy work ethic. Even if he got hundreds of millions of dollars and still work like he did broke. Dude will work out in 1, 2 p.m. Then spar, then go to the gym 12 in the morning, 1 in the morning, and work out some more, play some basketball, stay up to 4 in the morning, and do it all over again. So when the dude has a sickening workout regimen that he does.
Where'd you pick yours up? I was asking your dad, and he said after 2 weeks he already knew you were going to be good. You were sparring after 2 weeks,
Yeah.
but where'd you pick up your work ethic?
I think it's something that that's in me, but it's it's something that I was at a gym. And, I was at basically our Mexican gym, and my coach just made us work nonstop. Like some days we didn't know we was gonna spar. Like we do a whole workout and be ready to go home, and next thing you know, another gym walks in the gym, and he's like, "Hey, put your stuff on. You getting ready to spar." So I mean, I think my work ethic comes from basically that gym.
Sounds like it's been tough from the beginning.
Yeah.
And just one thing, I noticed just with the high level, like the highest level, like Mayweather's and such, that they really push everyone out of their gym when they're working out. You, on the other hand, are working alongside amateurs, pros, just people working out.
Yeah.
It's much more of a family atmosphere. Is that something that you thrive off of, or is that something that maybe when you get more experience, you're more of a champion, that you're going to want more of an isolated camp?
I mean, I don't like to be isolated. I like to work out, in front of everybody, and basically my gym mates. That's how when I first started. I was working out in front of everybody. I don't feel like that I need to, basically, shut everybody out, close the gym, and work out by myself. I don't feel like that's gonna get the job done. If you can't work out in front of a whole bunch of people, then how you gonna fight in front of a whole bunch of people? So I see it as motivation to have the younger amateur guys, and being in the gym, they watching me and basically hawking me down. I wish I would have had that when I was an amateur and I was first started. Had a professional guy in the top ranks working out right in front of me.
Do you feel like you're a role model, or do these guys come up to you and ask you advice, and you feel like you can give them that advice that they need?
Yeah, a lot of these guys, come up and ask me for advice. I got a guy named Burley, somewhere around here.
Oh, I see, I met him.
Yeah, over there, he always hit me up on Snap, ask me if I'm running tonight and stuff like that. So, that's motivation. I wish I'd have had, somebody that was a professional and I can look at and it was like, okay, he's doing this, he's doing that. Oh, that's how you train for an 8-round fight. That's how you train for a 10-round fight. And I can ask questions, but we never had that when I was an amateur in Dallas.
Are there any other ways you've thought about growing the sport from the ground level? Maybe a kid program or something like that. Some sort of youth program for kids that box. That's something that's lacking in the sport, is those youth programs. You obviously sound like you want to help the sport out.
Yeah.
Is that something that's been on your mind?
Youth program like what?
Like let's say like a 2-week summer camp. Like you have 3 hours out of the day, kids come to the gym and it's just kids here working out. And you're here with your coaches, and you're helping them teach them boxing basically.
Yeah, I think that'd be a great thing to do. But me, I just, I would like just have them come to the gym and train. I feel like, being in a boxing gym is a youth program in itself. You basically nothing. It's a lot of fighters. You don't have to go to college. You don't have to graduate high school. It's a youth program in itself, and you got a lot of fighters that come from all different, backgrounds and basically, come from the dirt and become world champions.
Would you say this is where you learn your discipline and your mannerisms and just your overall maturity?
I learned a lot of maturity and disciplines in the boxing gym, but I think I learned mine at home. My mother and my father, they taught me a lot about having morals and basically discipline and other characteristics that your parents are supposed to teach you on your way out the door.
None of them are militant, right?
Nah.
Just strike me as a guy that, like, maybe your dad, I just thought maybe your dad or someone in your family was like in the army or something.
Nah, man. We
professional.
Yeah, right?
For a young guy,
so
professional. Yeah. Composer. He's composed.
That's it, you done?
I'm done.
Your pro debut?
Thank you, Errol, for giving us time.
I got one. Actually, we seen Daniel Jacobs fight Gennady Golovkin, but on the day of the fight, he chose not to respect the 10-pound weight limit with the IBF, which is a title you're fighting for. Now, Kell Brook has obviously gone up to 160, back down to 47. There could be a possibility he can't make the weight, or if he does, he doesn't want to stay within those 10. What do you think about, guys doing what Daniel Jacobs did, using it as an advantage come fight night?
Teach his own. If he doesn't do that, then he can't get the IBF belt. So, when Daniel Jacobs did it, I guess he was using an advantage, but he was going to get the other belts anyway. This just one belt on the line, so, I can only control myself. If he doesn't do it, then, hopefully I get, a good percentage of his purse, and we'll fight.
How much of fight night weight is part of the fight? Because we check the weight before, then on fight night, sometimes HBO gives an unofficial, some other channels give unofficials. But how much is it important that day? Like sometimes we get caught up in how much you weigh the day of the fight. Is it that important?
It's important because but it can also hurt you too. You come in too heavy and be sluggish and can't really move because your body not adjusted to that. Your body been going 4 or 5 weeks, basically starving itself and at a lower weight, and you just blow up like that. Your body, working a lot and is going through a lot, trying to adjust to that. So it could affect you a lot too. So I don't like to blow up and get to I never come in a fight weighing 165 or 166. I'm probably like 59, 160, something like that.
What do you think is the logic behind Derek James when he trains with you? He said that you guys don't practice combinations. So why do you think that is?
Sometimes we practice combinations, but not all the time. He basically muscle twitch. Like he'll throw a shot at me and he wants me to react and throw a punch. So it's basically working on being sharp instead of throwing, a whole bunch of punches, throwing like 20 punch combination, 30 punch combination. Because in a fight, you're not really gonna throw a 12 punch combination unless the dude just hurt on the ropes, knocked out. Then you throw a 12, 15 punch combination. But not ready, you're not gonna do that. So we work on throwing 1, 2, 3, 4 shots at the most.
Have you done the pad work traditionally, or has it always been interactive with Derek James that way? And if you've done it traditionally, which way do you prefer?
I've done it traditionally before. Sometimes, it'll be some days in here where I'll be like, all right, let's throw a whole bunch of punches, basically to see where my conditioning is at. And then some days we're just working on being sharp. And, to tell me, working miss is like all about game plan and strategy. It's not about throwing a whole bunch of punches. Hitting the bag is about throwing a whole bunch of punches and, basically willing on it. But hitting the miss is about game plan and, strategy.
How much of what you do is part of your dad or Derek James? Like, for instance, on the bag, no one was telling you what to do and you decided to turn it up. Then sometimes you went down, and sometimes you just, consistently hit the bag. Like, how much of that is other people's influence, or do you have your own, things going through your head, and you're like, all right, I'm gonna go hit it non-stop for 30 seconds right now, or do you have intervals? I don't know. I'm just
it's basically my own thing going through my head. And, my coach, he done worked for so long that he doesn't have to tell me, basically to do this on the bag because, it's basically embedded in me now. So I know what to do. He might, he'll say certain things, probably hear like keep your right hand up or keep your left hand up or do this, do that, or throw your jab higher. But he's not even telling me to throw this combination on the bag and throw that on the bag.
What was he timing with the phone? Like in the ring?
Oh, he
the phone, on the bag, on the phone?
Oh, that's basically how long we working.
So you have a set, like you want to work for an hour straight?
Yeah. Like sometimes we do 25 minutes, you might do 30 minutes straight on the bench, 25 minutes on the bag, 30 minutes on the bag, something like that.
The fact that you don't really, like yesterday we seen you, today we seen you, don't really have your mouth open. Is that just all the years of running? How'd you master that, right? You usually see people breathe through their nose and their mouth.
Yeah, that's a bad habit, breathing through your mouth. You're always supposed to breathe through your nose. It's basically, you look at Floyd when he trained. When Floyd trained, he's never breathing through his mouth. He's breathing through his nose. And that's how you get a deeper breath. So you're supposed to breathe through your nose, not your mouth. The only time you're supposed to do that is in the corner if you're taking a deep breath. So you breathe through your nose and not your mouth. But you have your mouth open when you're training, that means you're having in a fight, and that's how you get your job, bro.
Another thing I noticed, you don't train with your mouth guard in. I know a lot of boxers and trainers advise that train with your mouth guard in. It's better to learn your breathing, but you don't. Is that just because you're so used to it, you don't feel like you need it? Or what's the reasoning behind that?
I'm used to it and I don't feel like I need it because I got dentist mouthpiece, so it's basically like just stuck in there. So I don't have one of them board mouthpieces where it slip out your mouth. So I'm not worried about that at all.
All right, thank you, Errol, for the time, and good luck on the fight on May 27th in Birmingham Lane. Good luck.